Hey everyone, happy New Year. So thank you so much for just spending some time with us, and we are super excited to kick off your new year as a instructional designer. So we're going to be working together to build out a Camtasia project, and we're so glad that you're here. So if I haven't met you yet, hi, I'm Kara North and I am joined by the amazing.
Hey guys, how is everyone doing? I'm very excited to be here. I'm very excited to learn with you guys.
Yes, so we're very happy with that. And it does look like we have an issue, of course, with our stream over to Crowdcast. So, Nick, as I'm fixing that, would you
Sure.
be kind enough to, let's see here. I'm gonna go here and try to fix this. So I'm gonna go off camera for just a second and I'll be right.
Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. I love seeing everyone here. Crowdcast is taking a moment. You know, Kara can fix anything. I'm very excited to definitely learn with you guys. I think this New Year is a great way to start off just by learning. In ID, we all know that we are students, we're professional students, we're always trying to develop our craft better. And I'm very excited to learn with you guys. You know, this is just a phenomenal community. I fell in love with ID definitely this year. I'm at the University of North Florida, I'm a grad student. And it's just an amazing opportunity to share our passions of finding the aha moment. And with Camtasia, as you guys know, it's a wonderful tool, or maybe you can learn that it's a wonderful tool to develop those really strong profiles, those portfolios that make it pop, make learning really stick. So I'm very excited for everyone to definitely just be part of this stream. Catherine, hello. Gwen. Katie Gibbs, you are right. You got to love technology.
All right, I am back and I have bad news. It is not going to let me fix that key in Crowdcast. So, yes, if you should move to YouTube, I put the link into the Crowdcast. And again, I am sorry, but you know what? It's wouldn't be fun without a little technology snafu, right? So, thank everyone for your patience. We appreciate it. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So, Nick is amazing and he's going to help produce this series. And I am Kara North if I haven't met you yet. And I will just go ahead and let's just get it popping here. So, I'm going to turn on the captions. And again, we were just really excited to do this. I did this around Memorial Day last year and was just absolutely blown away by the response of how many people just wanted to see somebody go through kind of the whole instructional design process. And it was fun. There were glitches in that too. So I guess there's some comfort in knowing that there's glitches here as well. So basically, what we're going to be doing is just going through each little piece of the instructional design process. This is going to be a little bit more development heavy. I will tell you that we are not going to touch Camtasia today at all. Actually, we're going to start that tomorrow, but just really excited to have you all here with us. So if you, again, haven't met me, my name is Kara. Random fact, I'm scared to death of eyeballs. True story, don't like them at all. But, if you're like wondering why you should be here, why you should listen to me, I have been doing this for 10 plus years now. And I honestly feel like I haven't really worked the last 10 plus years because I truly love what I do. And if this is something that you want to learn more about, I'm very biased. I think it's the best profession in the world and I love it so much. And so I want to, again, help as many people as I can. However, my time is limited because I do, have a full-time job on top of kind of everything else I have going on. So this is my way to potentially give back to people. So I started my instructional design career at Amazon. You may have heard of it. And then I spent the last 7 years in higher education. And then in the middle of last year, I decided to go back into a corporate role where I have been for, gosh, now I guess 7 months, which has been a wild ride, but it's been fantastic. So that's a little bit about me. And then funnest random fact ever, Nick. You want to tell people about that?
Oh yeah, that's always a conversation starter. I was a monk, and it was an awesome experience. And the problem is I can never shut up. So I love talking to people. I love being with people, but it definitely was a time for reflection. So, and that's where I really found my love of ID and working with people and just finding that aha moment. So yeah, that's my story.
I love it. And it looks like someone else has a weird phobia, so Katie doesn't like teeth or fingernails. Oh, I found somebody else. Hold on just one second. It went away. Let's see. Andrea also does not like eyeballs, so that's good to know. There's another gentleman, Brian Smith, if you all know him. He's an instructional designer for Casey's. He also is petrified of eyeballs. So when I found that out, I was excited that someone else got me, right? So yeah, and Nick, people are like wanting to know which order for
Yeah,
monk.
so I was part of the Benedictine monastery in Missouri, and it was a beautiful, any monastery you go to, it's a time where you just reflect. Despite what you believe, despite your creed or anything else, it's just a beautiful place to be.
Yeah, awesome. Again, we're lucky to have Nick. One other thing that I really think is important for myself is I try to promote other emerging professionals. So Nick, along with three other folks, are people that I'm going to be working with very closely this year to help get them employed and out to the world. So in addition to Nick, there's Sarah Hill. There's Randa Taftum and then also Chris Syracuse. And so if you go to the resources, you can also have access to connect with them and continue to support emerging professionals. Because, I mean, that we would not have a future profession without more people coming in. So it's my pleasure to do so. All right. So this was the Crowdcast map showing everybody that had registered for this event, and I just thought it'd be nice to show it. So if you haven't already, if you just want to introduce yourself in the chat, I would love for you to do that. I think that it's really important to, again, to make connections with other people in the profession. And again, as we're going through kind of this series, I recommend, connecting with people, working together, talking about everything that you're doing. I think that that's a great way to, again, grow as a professional. Okay, so thank you again for everything, just waiting for everything. This is something I always like to say kind of in the beginning, but I am not going to charge you a dime for this series. I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for the kindness and patience of other people. And a lot of people have helped me get to where I am today. And so all I ask for the time and all the resources and everything is to pay it forward. So as you are growing, as you are developing, and as you, go kind of do what it is that you do, I just ask that you help somebody else along the way. And that is more than enough to, again, fulfill what I've given you today. So I really appreciate, paying it forward. And I just want to highlight the amazing Kim Roberts is here. So Kim and I work together. So it's cool to see her here. So hi, Kim. Nice to see you. All right. One other thing as well, as we're going through this, I highly, highly encourage you to do something that I call working out loud. Working out loud is essentially just kind of sharing stuff as you're posting, as you're learning, as you're growing. And so I highly recommend as you are thinking about these resources or going on your own journey, that you share it on social media. So share it on your LinkedIn, share it on Twitter, and feel free to tag me in it and also tag TechSmith, which we'll get to here in a moment. But I just think it's really, really good just to share that information out there, because you don't know how much your little nugget can actually help somebody else. And I think that's kind of the cool thing about it. So if you are joining, you can get the resources we're going to talk about here in a minute in the video description here on YouTube. Again, Crowdcast, I don't know what happened with that. We'll fix it next time. So thanks for your patience on that. But if you did sign up via Crowdcast, you should be able to click the button. I know I saw somebody in the Crowdcast say something along the lines that it didn't work. There was a firewall because it's a Google Doc. I can make a zip or something for you, but I highly recommend, if you have a personal computer, please access that, if you have some kind of a firewall to access things. Okay. So let's get cracking. But one last thing, huge shout out to the kind of folks at TechSmith. TechSmith is actually sponsoring this entire series, and Should we tell them now, Nick, or should we wait?
Ooh, I think we should keep it a surprise.
Okay, so Nick says keep it a surprise, so I'm not going to say anything, but yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. But we're really excited to partner with TechSmith. TechSmith has fantastic products. I've been using TechSmith for a very long time. A huge fan of Camtasia and Snagit, and we just really appreciate their partnership today. So just leave it at that, and there might be a surprise here at the end. Okay, all right. So, oh yeah, I guess I did kind of, no surprise. So at the end of today's stream, we are giving away a full TechSmith package. And so what that means is you're getting your own copy of TechSmith Camtasia 2020, as well as Snagit 2021. So that is, I think, about a $400 package that we're giving away for free, courtesy of the kind folks at TechSmith. And if you would like to purchase your own, I do have links on the resources that you can use to get 10% off your TechSmith purchase. So if you don't win, because we are going to give it away, no harm, no foul, you can also purchase it at a discounted rate. But if you want to try it out, they do have a 30-day trial of Camtasia. And if you download that to work through what we're doing in this series, that will also help too. All right. Now, okay. So you've probably heard of this, I think. This is something that comes up quite frequently is ADDIE. I will tell you this is not an instructional design model. That drives me bananas when I see people say that. I think that this is kind of a guidance of, very kind of rudimentary project management, but I'm going to say something maybe slightly controversial here. You could use ADDIE to also make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or a paper airplane. It is not specific for instructional design. So when I see that, again, it's just like nails on a chalkboard to me. So if you're not familiar with ADDIE, it's essentially like an acronym to kind of help you through kind of like a very, again, a project management perspective of steps that you should do in order to fulfill the deliverable. So the first is analysis, the second is design, the third is development, the fourth is implementation, and the fifth is evaluation. So today, we're going to spend just a hot minute. We're not going to be too deep into it, but today we're going to focus on analysis and design. And then over the next two episodes, so tomorrow's episode and then the episode next week, we're going to actually be building in Camtasia. And so going back to the resources, you will see links open up for each session. I will have zip files for you that you can bring into your own, version of Camtasia to get you started. And then again, I'm going to be sharing my screen pretty much the whole time. The next two sessions, just building and showing you the features of Camtasia. The fourth episode is going to be implementation. So I am going to show you how to put this into a learning management system. We're actually going to be using Canvas, which is a higher education learning management system. So if you've never seen a learning management system before, you're going to be able to see it. I'm also going to embed it into a web page so you can also see what that would look like. And I'm also going to show you one of my favorite tools that I think is completely underrated. It is more of a marketing tool, but it's called MailChimp. And MailChimp is a free email platform, but I just think there's a lot of great things that we can do as learning development professionals with MailChimp. So I'm going to show you 3 ways to implement it, how you would put it in front of people and send it out. And then, of course, the last episode, we're going to do evaluation questions. And I think this is really important. Like, how are you measuring success with what you're creating? What does this look like? And also want to give you just a 30-day plan on if you want to continue and keep building some things that you'll do. So, question that you are probably thinking about, well, what can I use for my portfolio? Well, the answer is I think you can use a little bit of all of this in your portfolio. One thing that I see on a lot of portfolios is I just see the end product, and I don't see enough people tell the story of the product. And for me, again, putting kind of my hiring manager hat on, right? I think it's so critical to see how does someone analyze stuff? Where do they put it? How do they evaluate it? And if you are looking and you are on the job market this year, I can guarantee you if you put that stuff in your portfolio, it's going to make you stand out in a good way. to a lot of hiring managers. So I want to give you a lot of moving pieces besides just a video, right? So just consider that. Again, you don't have to take my advice on that, but I just want to at least give you just some additional information that I think would potentially help you with that. Okay. All right. Any questions about that so far? I have been trying to check it. Oh, Katie says good on Canvas. So good. We'll be showing that. I promise. Honestly, I do not like any learning management system. I'm just gonna put that out there. I don't think I'm going to offend many people, but I do think Canvas is one of the most user-friendly ones. So good to see. All right, Miley. Hope you're in the right place. So good. So yes, if you again, I've just found out about instructional design. I know I'm super biased, but I do think it's the best profession in the world, and I think there's a lot of great opportunities out there for a lot of people. So, all right. Moving along, so if you haven't already opened, this is those resources that I keep talking about. So the way to navigate this is, again, it is just a Google Doc, and then if you click on session 1, it will take you to all the resources from today's session, and we'll just go kind of, again, episode by episode. Think of it as kind of that way. So anything that I talk about will be linked on each day. And then if you're here on YouTube, which that's where most of you are, because Crowdcast apparently hates me today, then you'll just click the description to get access to the resources. Or actually, Nick, would you be kind enough to pop it over into maybe the YouTube chat for folks too, just in case people can't?
I'd be happy to.
Awesome.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Okay. Hey, Katzel, what are you doing here? Ketzel's asking user-friendly for users or admins. That's a good question. I think actually both. I think that the app that Canvas has looks really slick on iPads and mobile, and I also think it's pretty easy to use on an admin side. So my time in higher education, I did a lot of admin stuff in Canvas and found it not as painful as usually LMS admin is. So, alrighty, keep on going here. Okay, so first question, and probably one of the biggest questions that I get as you're developing your portfolio is, what do I build, right? How do I know what I can build? Where do I get ideas? What are some things that I just, can do in order to build my portfolio? And one thing that I will challenge you on is, if you are currently working and you have like maybe some proprietary information, please do not put that in your portfolio without getting explicit permission from your employer. I'll tell you why. For me, it's dead in the water. If I'm reviewing your portfolio and I'm seeing some intellectual property stuff on there, I'm going to probably just pass you over, sadly. And even if you're a great instructional designer, because the stuff that I do in my day job is a very competitive market. We have some proprietary stuff, and I feel like if I had that stuff kind of out there and it got back that, I knew about it, it would not be good on me. And so, you may be a brilliant instructional designer. I'm just not willing to take that chance. So this is actually, again, a link on the resources. Kristen Anthony, who's an instructional designer at Amazon, she also has a fantastic podcast called Dear Instructional Designer. She created this because she saw a need to create prompts for what people can build. So if you have no clue on what to build, or even have, the faintest idea on what you can build for your instructional design portfolio, I highly recommend go design something. And so what I did was, we went through and we looked, and this is what we landed on as what we're going to build during this series. So we want to build a video to help managers support deaf employees. So Nick, do you want to tell us a little bit why that means so much to you?
Yeah, so in my undergrad, I studied sign language as part of my minor. Then I became an American Sign Language teacher, and I've worked with the deaf community for many years. And I'm just passionate about diverse cultures, sign language, and I have a huge heart for accessibility and UDL. So I believe learning should be designed for everyone. Training should be designed for everyone in mind. So this is a huge passion project, and definitely something that I'm not an expert in, but I'm definitely an advocate and definitely an ally.
Same. Yeah, I'm definitely not an expert either, but I do try to be an advocate. As you can see, what am I doing right now? I'm doing live captioning because I realize that people may be distracted right now, may not have a headset, may not have, some stuff available to them. But I also picked this one because I think it's really timely. Last year really disrupted the way that a lot of organizations work. And specifically, even if deaf employees maybe had accommodation on site, when they went to work from home, a lot of that probably got thrown out the window. Think about, well, for example, having meetings via like Teams, Skype, Zoom, and not being able to hear what anyone says. It's just kind of a messy situation, and we want to make sure that people feel kind of empowered. Plus, again, thinking strategically, thinking about your portfolio, thinking about getting you employed in 2021 if you're looking for an instructional design job. I know myself, again, hiring manager hat on here. I saw something like this on someone's portfolio. I'd be super impressed because that would tell me that they are, taking it seriously and it's something that's important to them. Oh, Lords, great question. And again, sorry, I am going to try to go back to the question. So she asked, what are we using for the live caption? This is so easy. So this is actually Google Slides. It's 2 clicks. That's all you do for the captions. Easy. Been doing it since 2018, and I just think it's really, really important to use, and I love it. So, if you're in PowerPoint does it now too, but I've just been so used to Google Slides. That's been my go-to for a live caption. So, great question. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hit some of these other ones real fast while I saw them. So, Jen asked about Canvas, if you can develop them as an independent contract or within higher ed. As far as I know, and I'm going to knock right here on this table, I think Canvas does have a free account that you can get. I do know that it is something that you could potentially host things in for free. It is a little bit more higher ed tailored. I think that's their main market that they go for. Now, the organization that built Canvas is Instructure, and they have a corporate LMS, I think called Bridge. And I don't know if there's a free trial of that, but I do think if you're looking to just practice host, I think Canvas is a good option. Some other options out there are, I think Moodle is one, and then there's some other ones out there that you can also try for free. But I do know that for a lot of people looking to break into this profession, getting access to practice and learning management system is difficult, right? So I'm hoping to at least share some behind the scenes with that and talk through some considerations in this series. So great question. All right. Let me see if there's anything else that I missed real quick. Okay, Jen asked about the follow-up session. So if you're here on YouTube, I made a playlist. And so basically we have one, I'm going to test my memory here. We have one tomorrow, which would be the 2nd, I believe, at 1 p.m. And then we have one on the 9th, which would be the following Saturday, and that one is at 11 a.m. We have another one on the 10th, which is at 1 p.m., which would be the Sunday. And then we do another weekend, and then the 16th will wrap up at 11 a.m. I hope I was honest on that. It was testing my memory, but I work full time during the week, so I have to do it on the weekend. And we are actually doing more in person instructor led training, actually, socially distanced, of course, right? So I mean, my whole weeks are just shot, and by the time I get home, like I'm ready to go to bed. So so that's why the weekend. So thanks for everyone's patience on that. Okay. Oh, Jay, look who's here, Mr. J Rock in the house. Hello. And also Cheryl, hello, hello. So it's nice to see friendly faces here. So we appreciate it. Okay, so basically going back to kind of the content here, what I plan on doing in this series is this prompt right here is going to kind of guide the development. So we're going to get a little bit into the how do we build a script? We're going to talk a little bit about, how do we analyze something like this? And then as we're developing, this is going to be my guidance. So you have a couple options on how you want to proceed. If you want to follow along and do the same thing, you absolutely can. But if you want to go and find something else to play with, you can do that as well. So this is kind of a pick your own path experience, if you will. So if it's something you want to follow along, you can. But if you want to do your own thing, feel free to do that as well. Okay. So another big question I get asked a ton is like, let's just back up for just 1 second. And this is a pitfall I see a lot of new instructional designers fall into. Let's say you get this from your boss or a stakeholder or a department that you work with, and they're like, hey, make a video to support deaf employees. And that's what you get. What do, right? Depending, you either maybe follow up with your manager to get more context, or you want to talk to those people. But what happens a lot of times is a lot of us become what I call short order cooks. We want to please the stakeholders. We're like, yeah, sure, we're happy to whip that up. When do you need it by? And then guess what happens? We miss getting a lot of that good stuff out of there. And then when our learning experience misses the mark, we don't understand why. So the first kind of phase of ADDIE is analysis. So you really want to dig in and figure out, what is going on here? Like, what is the problem? Yes, Katie, hold that thought. I see that thought. There's the thought there. But yeah, so we really need some methods for analysis. So I'm just going to go over some different resources for you. So the first one is from Dr. Michael Allen, who honestly, you all, if you don't know who he is, there literally would probably not be e-learning without this man. I'm not even kidding. Like, he is like the founding father of e-learning is what I'm calling him. And plus, one of the nicest people on the planet. So if you've heard of the successive approximation model, or SAM, he actually was the person that came up with SAM as a model for, again, project management and rapid prototyping for instructional design. So with this is just a list of questions that he likes to ask as he's kind of doing the analysis. And I wanted to share that with you because, again, it's a nice starting point. Now, will there be specific questions that you may want to think about as far as, for your organization or for the population? Absolutely. But if you got nowhere else to go or just have nowhere to start, this is a great option for you. Now, I have some friends with me today. I love books. I think books are very powerful, and I think by using them, you can actually grow, believe it or not. So this is book number 1 recommendation is Leaving ADDIE for SAM. I do have a link to this again on the resources, and this is I refer to this book often, but in that kind of first chapter, as he's going through kind of this stuff, this is when we go through the analysis. So highly recommend it. If you don't have a copy of it, I have a link to it. Or again, with kind of everything going on last year, many libraries have used, I believe that the service is called Overdrive. Check with your library first before maybe you buy a book if money is an issue. A lot of books are offered through Overdrive to, like, if you have a Amazon Kindle or if you have another kind of reading app there, so you can access it that way. So Ken's already got this book. Yes. So I highly recommend this book. I love it, love it, love it. So again, just to get started, if you didn't really know, I don't know anything kind of with it, feel free to use it. Okay. Up next is, and Katie, you got it. There's another way that you can analyze, and that's through Kathy Moore and, Adriel, Leaving ADDIE for SAM. Leaving ADDIE for SAM. And there's a link to it in the resources. Okay, so Kathy Moore is also an absolute pioneer when it comes to analysis, and she also has, wait for it, a book that I also have a copy of right here. So again, proving that I eat my own dog food, ladies and gentlemen. I want to prove that I have these too. So Map It this is a nice thick book, by the way. And there are just, oh my gosh, so many questions and answers that you can go through on this. And I just think that it's amazing because what Kathy suggests is flipping our mindset from content creators to problem solvers. So first thing out of the gate, as we get like a request come in, what's the problem that we're trying to solve? I think that's so elegant and understated, but so important to the success of what it is that we're building, right? So I do, again, have a link to more information about action mapping in the resources. J-Rock, that's kind of creepy. He says that as we were talking that Mapit popped up on algorithms, they're so 2021, right? So fun. But I just think it's really, really important to think about that because, again, it is a pitfall that many people fall into. Full disclosure, I'm going to tell myself I did the exact same thing when I started out. I shared the story with the Learning Guild. They did a series on, it's called Failing Forward. They made a little ebook about failures that other instructional designers had. And I told this story when I was at Amazon. My very first solo project that I did was to create a module about this app called Amazon Santa. And Amazon Santa was this cute little app, and basically kids put together a wish list and they animated this little kind of letter to Santa, and then, the parents would get the wish list, right? So really cool idea. Talk to this project manager. He was, I want to say, gosh, 4 or 5 degrees away from Bezos. Okay. So big deal. Here I am, a little instructional designer in Huntington, West Virginia, and I really wanted to dazzle this person, right? And so he was just telling me how important it was and how this was just going to drive our calls and our contacts, and we want to make sure everyone knew how to troubleshoot Amazon Santa, right? So, do you know what I did? I took everything that he said. I was taking copious notes, right? And I was like, I got to make sure every little detail is in this. So then what I did is I made about a 15-minute module before e-learning authoring. I built it right into the LMS, okay? Just telling you how old I am, going back in the cave years here. And I pushed that out for all customer service associates around the world. Mandatory 15 minutes to everybody. Think about that. Everybody during our busiest time, like our busiest time was Q4, okay? Like that's where they make the money, right? Everybody went through it. And then guess what? It was less than 0.1% of all contacts for Q4. And I wasted that much time. And when I saw on my calendar that there was a meeting set up with my boss, I was pretty much hyperventilating in the back. I knew I was toast. I knew they were going to fire me because I had the data. I saw it. And I mean, we exchanged pleasantries. She was actually in Seattle. And again, I was in Huntington, West Virginia. And she's like, so what happened? And I was like, oh, yeah. And she said, but you're an instructional designer. She said, they are the subject matter expert, but you're the process expert. And you got to fight to keep that process to make sure that it's what the people need. You got to stand up. And I'm like, but he's, and she's like, I don't care who he is. She's like, you need to stand up for yourself. And so, long story short, I didn't get fired, but I learned a very hard lesson that, yeah, I have the power as an instructional designer to ask questions and get more information, right? So don't do what I did. You probably may stumble along the way, but I just want to share that story with you because everybody's made mistakes. So don't be so hard on yourself if you do make mistakes. But yeah, I was very lucky. I still had a job. Oh, I can't with J-Rock. He's he's always saying something. So again, going back to action mapping, ask people what the issue is. What problem is this trying to solve? And through that, you're going to get more details about the information. All right. So I took a stab at it, so I didn't want to fill everything in, but at least wanted to show you all some potential answers for some of this stuff. So in the analysis methods on, again, the resources, you have access to this. I went ahead and answered out some of the questions from Dr. Michael Allen Sam, so that way you can go ahead and start maybe thinking about it. So these are just some of the ones that I put. I made the generic ABC company. Again, feel free to kind of, name it whatever that you want, but just to give you some ideas of how you want to answer those. All right. So again, I know we're going super, super fast through this. Please note that real life takes more time, right? But I really want to get us kind of through this content. So tomorrow we're going to just hit the ground running and pop into Camtasia and start building, okay? So with, after you get the analysis and let's say you get all the good information, then you get to the design part. Now, depending on where you go, who you work for, whatever, there are people that are instructional designers that only do this part and then they hand the development off to someone else. Okay. Now, with that being said, with the trends that I'm seeing that slowly go away. I think it's really important to be able to do both. So not only develop kind of the end product, but then also be able to design the curriculum to support it. So I think it's really important to be able to do both, but there are still organizations out there that still kind of separate it. So especially if you see something like an e-learning developer, usually that means you are the one kind of building everything together versus an instructional designer. For some organizations, again, asterisks there, okay? Some, it's just this step. So it's just like doing the analysis work and then designing out the curriculum. So as we're thinking about what we're going to build in order to, again, educate managers about how they can advocate and include deaf employees, we want to think about how can we tell this story via video, okay? So what is it in the video that we can tell that will be like really important to tell the story? And then also what is important to include or exclude? So thinking about it, I do actually, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up here. And I took a stab at kind of how I wanted to start it off so you all can see it. But again, if you're in the resources, you should also have access to this. So just bear with me one moment here and I'll get this up. And it is rolling here. Okay, so if you go to the resources and you click on the super awesome name here, but it's a partially complete script, you'll be able to see it, and I'm going to share it here so you all can also see it. So we're going to get big, and then I'm going to share again. Okay, thanks for your patience, everybody. Give it a moment here. Okay, so basically what I thought of, and again, to me, this is like the fun part, right? So I call this unlocking your unicorn horn. This is taking all that content together and figuring out how best to tell the story. So I was really thinking about it and I was like, how could I really make an impact? How could I get them out of the gate? And so what I was thinking was just imagine it, because again, we're going to build this as well. But just imagine like just a clip of a meeting, you hear audio, and then the audio just stops, but the meeting's still going on. Okay. So then you're like thinking, what happens? And then like everything just kind of stops. I'm thinking like old school, like Zach Morris in Saved by the Bell, like timeout, right? So everything like stops. And then you're like, you hear this voice, like, what if I told you this meeting doesn't meet the standard of the ABC company? Can you guess why? So you're already like putting them in it. They're thinking about it. They're looking at it. It's like, man, what is going on here? And then the video picks back up, but you're still not hearing any audio. And then you're getting this backstory, and it says, when COVID-19 forced ABC company to have folks work at home, many employees adjusted well. However, there are some who did not. And for ABC company employees who are deaf, online meetings left them feeling frustrated and isolated. Boom. And you felt it yourself in the video because you heard it and then it went away. So again, we're trying to put them in that situation to build empathy, to have them think about what it would be like. And then it goes back to, again, explaining how we could advocate for for the deaf employees. So, some different things here would be, all virtual meetings need to have live captioning and need to make sure that there's like some notes going out in order to support it. And then what I was thinking about doing in this video is making kind of a fake email being written as this is going on, thanking the manager for doing it, because the other employees who are not deaf are still also benefiting from that. They're benefiting from getting the notes. They're benefiting from, seeing the captions come through, because again, maybe it's something that they don't.
Hey, Kara. I'm having trouble with audio real quick. Hey guys, I love technology, so I am going to contact Kara and we'll be back in just a second. But as Kara was saying, yes, when you design learning experience and training, it's not just for deaf. People think that deaf is capital D, totally profoundly deaf. And as you know, a lot of individuals, or maybe you not know, aren't completely deaf. What about the persons who need just closed caption? Maybe they work in a industry where it's so loud and you can't hear, and you need the closed captions, you need the subtitles. Or if you're at Starbucks and that's your location. So those are some things that you have to think about, especially when we're working with, all types of people, designing accessibility for everybody.
Thanks for saving the day, Nick.
I got you.
Who knows? Whoever has the tech voodoo doll on me, like, please throw it away in a hole somewhere. I don't want it anymore. So thanks for your patience, everyone. Again, with the crowdcast, with kind of everything going on. So it looks like Ketzel is a winner of something. So Ketzel, let me know what you won so I can come here. So basically, again, I just wanted to share with you a part of the script that I built out. And I think I actually have a slide here, yeah, about unlocking your unicorn horn. Now, I will be, again, transparent with you here. This is very difficult when you're starting out. It's difficult to kind of put the pieces together to think if you're doing the right thing. But this is just something in my experience that just takes time and practice to kind of unlock some of those creative juices, okay? So I am looking at the time. I am going to try to keep each of these episodes less than an hour, just because, again, I realize we're sitting in front of the computers more. I want to be, good with your time and respect that. So I just wanted to leave that there. I'm going to go back through and get some of these questions here. And then as we're doing that, Nick is going to be queuing up a surprise as well. So, Ketzel, well, congratulations. I'm happy. He won impromptu staring contest. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, let's see here. I have a question here about if one is a teacher who only has experience with PowerPoint, how doable is Camtasia or Storyline? Like everything, I think it just takes practice and just knowing that you're not going to break whatever it is that you're using. But there are a lot of great tutorials out there. There are different programs if you're interested in like purchasing a program that maybe can help guide you through it. But again, it totally depends, Adriel, kind of where you want to go. But I think if you have really good PowerPoint chops, there's a lot you can do. You can import in PowerPoints and Storyline, or you can use PowerPoint assets in Camtasia. So there's a lot that you can do with the PowerPoint skills that you probably already have. But I think it's completely doable, depending again on what it is that you want to do there. Okay, trying to think if there's anything. Yes, iSpring is in PowerPoint. We're taking one last look here to make sure that there's any last questions. Okay. All right. So, Nick, I'm going to stop sharing because Nick is going to do something here.
All right, now it's the giveaway TechSmith Camtasia 2020. So we're going to turn to the wheel of names. So I have noticed everyone participating in the chat, and I put everyone's names who signed up. So thank you so much for, being active, being part of this. And let's just start off the new year with a spin.
All right. Yeah, thank everybody for your patience with everything, and good luck.
Ah.
Shanna Prince, are you here? Are you still here? Comment if you are. Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, congrats. So Shanna, you won TechSmith package of Snagit and Camtasia. So if you, oh yeah, she's here. She's here.
There you go. Yeah. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Awesome. So if you will actually, reach out to me like on LinkedIn or something and give me your email, then we will, go ahead and send that over to you. And I'll send you the key and everything today. So that way you could actually have it for tomorrow if you want. So you'd be ready to go. So thank you all for everything. I want to make sure, I want to, again, get as many questions as I can because I want to leave some of the time open for Q&A. And again, with everything going so fast, it's been kind of difficult to catch everything. But if you have any other questions, if you want to comment below this video, I can follow up and get those. Thank you so much for your patience. I know I lost a lot of the Crowdcast folks by doing this, but we'll fix that and hopefully figure that out tomorrow. But thank you so much for part 1. Come back tomorrow for part 2. And I'm actually going to scoot over to John Hinchliff's L&D get together here in just a few moments, who is also going to have a little networking event. So if you're going to that, I'll see you here shortly. Looks like I have a quick question here. A good to-do list before tomorrow's session. Ooh, okay. So Haley, what I would do, 1, make sure I have a trial of TechSmith Camtasia ready to go. Okay. 2, I would think about what it is that you want to build. And if you want to mess with the assets that I'm going to provide, then think about maybe a script or something that you would want to tell the story about how to advocate for deaf employees. And if you've done that, then you will be set up, ready to go. So thanks, Nick, for also popping that in the chat. So thank you all so much. Appreciate all the time, support, and love, and see you back tomorrow. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to pop them below. But thanks so much. Have a good rest of your day. And Happy New Year.